The clerk told the elderly man in the wheelchair he couldn't leave until he paid $76.
Your insurance doesn't cover the discharge fee, Mr. Brennan. You'll need to pay $76 now.
$76? I don't have my wallet. Please, isn't there any other way?
A few feet away, Mary Williams had just picked up her daughter's discharge papers. She heard every word.
That's almost all the money I have, saved for Elizabeth's birthday cake.
Her hand found the crumpled $80. The last $80 to her name. She stepped forward and slid the cash under the glass partition. The man stared at the money, then at her, his sharp blue eyes filled with tears.
Why? Why would you? I don't even know you.
Mary didn't answer. She turned and fled, leaving the lobby before anyone could stop her. Mary drove back toward the pediatric wing, her hands gripping the wheel, the crumpled receipt on the passenger seat. When she entered the room, Elizabeth was already dressed, her small bag packed, smiling with pure, uncomplicated joy.
Mommy, they said I can go home, and tomorrow's my birthday. Did you get the chocolate cake with pink flowers?
The cake money was gone. She had given it to a stranger. How could she tell her daughter this?
Mary reached into her bag, feeling only the empty pocket where the $80 had been.
Elizabeth, I couldn't get the cake. I had to help someone who needed it more. I am so sorry.
Oh, it's okay, Mommy. I don't really need a cake. I just wanted us to be together.
They walked out of the hospital holding hands, but the silence between them was heavy with everything left unsaid. At home, Elizabeth went to her room without a word. Mary knew her daughter was trying not to cry. Long after Elizabeth fell asleep, Mary sat at the kitchen table and wept, the weight of the day finally crushing her. After the lobby emptied, Arthur wheeled himself back to the billing window, his voice still unsteady.
Her name is Mary Williams. She was here to pick up her daughter's discharge papers.
That evening, in his wood-paneled study, Arthur immediately called his assistant, Marcus.
Marcus, find a woman named Mary Williams. She paid my discharge fee today. I need to know everything.
Understood, sir. I'll pull hospital records and security footage. Do you want me to confront her?
Number, not yet. Just find her. And Marcus, this is the one. After 9 years, she stopped.
He glanced at the old photograph on his desk. 2 young men in hospital uniforms, one black, one white. Within an hour, Marcus sent a security still to Arthur's phone. Mary's face caught in the lobby.
There's something in her eyes. Not just kindness, something familiar. Like a song I used to know.
Arthur set the phone down, his heart pounding with a hope he hadn't felt in nearly a decade. Later that night, Mary sat at the kitchen table, her purse emptied before her. Just a few coins and a crumpled receipt. She was calculating how long until her next paycheck when a small voice came from the hallway.
Mommy, I can't sleep, and I keep thinking, is tomorrow really my birthday without a cake?
It is, baby. Come here. We'll make it special in a different way, okay?
I heard you crying earlier. Was it because of me?
No, sweetheart. Never because of you. I just wish I could give you the world.
She carried Elizabeth back to bed and tucked her in, humming the lullaby from years ago when Elizabeth was asleep again. Mary returned to the kitchen and let the tears fall silently.
What kind of mother can't even give her daughter a birthday cake?
She looked at her empty wallet one last time, then shoved it deep into her bag, as if hiding her failure. The next morning, Mary left before sunrise, her body heavy with exhaustion, to work a double shift as a home health aide. At home, the calendar on the wall circled Elizabeth's birthday. Mary had left a single wrapped pancake on the table before she went. Across town, Marcus arrived at Arthur's estate carrying a slim manila folder. He spread the contents across Arthur's desk. The file held Mary's address, her employer, and beneath the mother's name, Angela Williams' maiden name.
Angela Williams. That was Samuel's daughter's name. I haven't heard it in 30 years.
For a moment, he was back in the old hospital corridor, seeing Samuel Williams laugh as they mopped floors together.
9 years I've been searching. Could it really be her, Samuel's own granddaughter, Marcus? This is her. It has to be. Everything finally makes sense. I am going to see her myself. Not send a car, not call. I need to look her in the eyes and tell her.
The search that had defined 9 years of his life was about to end where it began. In a modest duplex on a quiet street, Arthur held up the old photograph, the edges worn from decades of handling.
His name was Samuel Williams. We met when this hospital was just a single wing. I was a resident, and he mopped the floors. We became brothers. When I founded this hospital system, he was right there, the first man I hired. I promised I'd look after his family.
But Samuel died young, a heart attack. His daughter Angela was just 20. Arthur lost track of her when she moved away.
I searched for years, hired investigators, nothing. But I knew Samuel's blood was still out there, waiting to be found.
So every year, he went to the billing line of his own hospital, a man who owned everything, claiming he couldn't pay.
Not to test charity, to find someone like Samuel, someone who would see a stranger in need and not walk away.
And in 9 years, only one person stopped. Mary Williams, Samuel's own granddaughter.
Fate brought her to that window, but her choice, giving her last dollar, that was pure. That was Samuel's blood talking.
He placed the photo back on the desk, carefully, as if it were a sacred object. The waiting was finally over. Later that afternoon, a black SUV parked in front of Mary's duplex, its engine humming quietly on the worn street.
Mommy, there's a big fancy car outside. Who is that?
A black SUV in this neighborhood rarely meant good news.
A tall black man in a crisp suit stepped out, walked to the front door, and knocked with calm authority.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Marcus. I work for Arthur Brennan. He'd like to meet you.
Arthur Brennan. I don't know any. Wait, the man from the hospital, in the wheelchair?
Elizabeth appeared at her mother's hip, peering up at the stranger with unguarded curiosity.
Yes. He wants to thank you properly. It's important. You can bring your daughter. I'll drive you myself.
I don't have anything nice to wear. And why now?
Minutes later, Mary and Elizabeth were in the back of the SUV, the world outside their window, blurring into something unknown. The SUV pulled through an iron gate and up a long driveway to a sprawling estate. Inside the wood-paneled study, Arthur Brennan sat not in his wheelchair, but in a plush armchair, waiting.
You are him, the man from the billing window. Why did you bring us here?
To thank you, Mary. What you did was extraordinary. But I must confess something.
Confess? What do you mean?
I've been conducting an annual test. I go to my hospital's billing line, claim I can't pay. 9 years, no one helped.
9 years? This was all a setup? I gave my last $80 to a billionaire's game.
Mary turned toward the door, pulling Elizabeth's hand.
Wait, I wasn't testing strangers, Mary. I was searching for someone specific. Your grandfather, Samuel Williams.
Mary froze, her hand on the doorknob. The name Samuel Williams echoed in her mind, a ghost from her mother's stories. Arthur reached to the mantel and handed Mary a worn photograph. himself and a black man in janitor's coveralls, both laughing.
That's him. That's Grandpa Samuel. I've only seen one picture of him in my mother's locket.
Mommy, who is that? Is that our family?
That's Samuel. Mary, he was my best friend. We practically built that hospital together, him with a mop, me with a stethoscope.
My mother, Angela. She talked about a man named Arthur who promised to take care of us. She said he was like family.
I lost track of Angela after Samuel died. I searched for her, for you, for 9 years, and today you found me.
Mary sank onto the sofa, the photograph trembling in her hand. Everything she thought she knew about that day was shifting.
9 years? You've been waiting 9 years for someone to help you, just to find us.
Yes, I needed someone with Samuel's heart, and you, Mary, giving your last $80, that was him, that was pure.
But why go through all this? Why not just find us? What do you really want?
He took a thick folder from his desk. This is what I really want, Mary, a scholarship fund for Samuel's descendants. He opened it, revealing legal certificates. It's been growing for 9 years, waiting for you. Now it's yours.
Mary pulled her hand back. You are offering me money? I didn't pay your bill for a reward.
This isn't payment for the bill, Mary. It's Samuel's legacy for you and Elizabeth.
I can't. It feels like taking advantage. We've always made it on our own.
Elizabeth tugged her mother's sleeve. Mommy, does this mean I can go to college someday?
This isn't charity, Mary. This is family. Samuel would have wanted his great-granddaughter to have every chance.
Mary stood, pulling Elizabeth close. I need time to think. This is too much for one day.
Take all the time you need. But know this, it's yours by right, not by any test.
Outside, the SUV door closed. Inside, Mary held Elizabeth's hand and stared out the window, her heart a storm of pride and possibility. That night, Mary sat at the worn kitchen table, but this time the thick scholarship folder lay open beside her.
She remembered her mother Angela, working double shifts, never accepting a handout because pride was all they had.
Elizabeth padded into the kitchen, still in her pajamas, and climbed onto the chair across from her mother.
Mommy, are you still thinking about that man? He seemed nice, and he made you smile.
He is nice, but taking that money feels like I am giving up on us making it on our own.
But you gave your last $80 to a stranger. That's not giving up, Mommy. That's what nice people do.
Mary stared at her daughter, the simple truth hitting harder than any argument Arthur could make.
Maybe accepting help isn't failing. Maybe it's just letting someone else be nice, too.
She pulled Elizabeth into her lap and held her tight, tears sliding silently into her daughter's hair. When Elizabeth went back to bed, Mary stared at the folder again, this time with a fragile new courage. At dawn, Mary picked up the phone, the scholarship folder open on her lap. She dialed the number Arthur had given her.
Mr. Brennan, it's Mary Williams. I've decided. I'll accept the scholarship fund.
Arthur's voice cracked with relief. Mary, you don't know how long I've waited to hear that.
I need to do one thing first. I want to see my grandfather's name on the hospital wall.
Of course. That wall has waited for you, too. Come this morning. I'll meet you there.
Mary hung up and turned to Elizabeth, who was coloring at the kitchen table.
We're going to the hospital, sweetheart. I want to show you something about our family.
Really? Is it about the man? The one who knew Grandpa Samuel?
An hour later, Mary buttoned Elizabeth into her nicest dress. In the mirror, she saw not just a mother, but a woman reclaiming her family's story. She slipped the old photo of Samuel and Arthur into her pocket, a bridge between past and present. They met Arthur in the hospital lobby just before noon. He was waiting in his wheelchair beside the founding wall.
It's just down this hall. Samuel's name has a story to tell.
Mary took Elizabeth's hand and followed him, her heart beating faster with every step. The wall was polished granite, names engraved in gold. Mary's eyes scanned frantically until she found it.
Samuel Williams. There he is.
She touched the cold granite, her fingers tracing the letters as if they could bring him back.
Did you know my great-grandpa? Was he nice?
He was the best man I ever knew. He'd be so proud of your mother.
Mary turned, tears streaming. Thank you for remembering him, for finding us.
Arthur reached out and placed his hand over hers on the granite. He was never forgotten. Now neither are you. A hospital attorney met them in a quiet boardroom, sliding a stack of legal papers across the polished table.
This is the scholarship trust. Once you sign, it becomes irrevocably yours for Elizabeth's education and your own.
Mary hesitated only a moment, then gripped the pen. She wrote her name in clear, slow strokes. When she set the pen down, her hand was trembling, but her eyes were steady.
Mommy, does this mean we can have a birthday party now? I didn't get a cake.
Arthur overheard and smiled, his eyes crinkling with a secret plan.
Leave the birthday to me. Let me give your daughter something Samuel would have wanted her to have.
Arthur, you've already done so much. A cake isn't.
It's not just a cake. It's 9 years of waiting. Trust me.
As they left the room, Arthur leaned to Marcus and whispered, "Call the bakery. The one on Lake Shore. 9 candles." The baker's phone rang at 4 p.m. A calm voice ordered a cake. 3 tiers, gold roses, 9 candles. 9 candles. The baker hesitated, but the voice was firm. Just 9. No more, no less. The baker began mixing batter, the kitchen filling with the sweet scent of vanilla and intent. He iced the cake with pearl white fondant, each stroke smooth and deliberate. Then he placed the 9 candles in a perfect circle on top, their wicks like quiet exclamation points. Marcus arrived to inspect the order. He slid a small note card under the ribbon without a word. On Mary's wall, the calendar still marked the day, but the space for party was empty for the Williams family. From Arthur, the cake sat in the cooler, the 9 candles waiting for the morning like soldiers of celebration. In the quiet night, the bakery clock ticked toward dawn, the cake holding 9 years of patience in its layers. The morning of Elizabeth's 10th birthday, Mary wobbled on a wooden chair, pinning red and yellow streamers to the ceiling. Elizabeth woke to the rustle of paper and shuffled into the living room, still in her pajamas.
Mommy, did you remember? Is it really my birthday?
I'd never forget, baby. I made you a special cake.
On the kitchen table, a homemade pink cake sat on a plate, a single candle stuck in the center. It wasn't fancy, but Mary had stayed up late to bake it.
It's the most beautiful cake I've ever seen.
The doorbell rang. A delivery van idled outside, and a man in a white uniform handed Mary a massive white box, saying it was from Arthur Brennan. Under the gold ribbon, a cream note card read in elegant script, "For the Williams family." Elizabeth tore off the lid and gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. Inside was a 3-tier cake, pearly white frosting with delicate gold roses, and 9 slender candles standing like a question. Mary was still staring at the cake when a soft knock came at the door. Arthur Brennan sat in his wheelchair on the porch, Marcus behind him.
I told you I'd handle it. 9 candles, Mary. 1 for each year I searched for your family.
Mary's hand flew to her chest. Tears spilled before she could stop them.
Each candle is a year the scholarship fund waited. Each one marks a time I went to that billing line hoping.
So you were waiting for us for 9 whole years. That's longer than I've been alive.
Yes, little one. And today, every one of those years becomes a wish for you.
Mary crossed the room and knelt by Arthur's chair, wrapping her arms around him.
All that time, you never forgot him. You never forgot us.
Arthur struck a match and lit the first candle. Then Mary lit the next, and Elizabeth the next, until all 9 flames danced. The room glowed with 9 small flames, a circle of lost time, finally found. Elizabeth clapped, and Arthur wiped his eyes.
Now, make a wish, Elizabeth. 9 candles for 9 years of searching. Make it a good one.
She closed her eyes, inhaled deeply, and blew out every candle. The room filled with the sweet scent of wax and hope. Arthur reached into his jacket and pulled out a small velvet box, his hand trembling with age and emotion.
This locket belonged to Samuel. I've kept it safe for your family ever since he passed.
Elizabeth opened the box. Inside, a gold locket held a tiny photograph of a laughing black man.
It's my great-grandpa. He looks so happy, just like in the picture you showed Mommy.
Mary helped her daughter clasp the locket, her fingers brushing the gold as if touching history.
You are like my real grandpa now. Can I call you Grandpa Arthur?
Arthur's hand trembled as he took Elizabeth's. The locket rested against her chest, a bridge between generations.
I would be honored. Call me Grandpa Arthur, Elizabeth.
As the birthday celebration settled, Arthur turned to Mary with a seriousness that softened the air.
The scholarship fund is more than enough for Elizabeth's entire education, college included. But it's also for you, Mary. There's a nursing program at the university. I've already spoken to the dean. If you ever wanted to become a nurse, the path is open.
I always dreamed of being a nurse, but I never thought, not for someone like me.
Your grandfather found me when I was nobody. You found me when I was pretending to be nobody. That's not luck, that's family.
Mary's eyes filled, but this time the tears weren't from sorrow. They were from a future she could suddenly see.
The fund will pay for your tuition, books, even a stipend so you don't have to work double shifts. It's time you chase your own dream.
Thank you. Grandpa Arthur.
The word settled over the room like a blessing, and Elizabeth snuggled closer to her new grandfather. For the first time in years, Mary felt not just seen, but known. A woman whose act of kindness had unlocked a legacy she never knew existed. A few days later, Mary returned to the hospital alone. The morning light fell across the founding wall like a quiet invitation. She found his name again and pressed her palm flat against the cool granite.
He did all that work just to give us a chance. Just like I tried to do for my daughter.
She thought of her mother Angela, who would have been proud to see her standing there. She used to walk these halls feeling invisible. Now, her name was tied to the hospital's very foundation.
I am not a failure. I am the woman who gave away her last $80 and found a whole family.
She let her hand fall from the wall, but the warmth of the stone lingered on her skin. A nurse passed by and smiled, a rare moment of acknowledgement in a place where Mary had always been overlooked. She walked toward the exit with a straight back and a steady gaze, no longer fleeing from anything. Behind her, the founding wall stood silent, holding a name that had waited for her all along. A year later, morning light fell across a university classroom. Mary sat in the third row, a textbook open before her. She wore a blue nursing student uniform. A badge on her chest read her name, and a small gold locket rested beneath the collar. She jotted down notes, her handwriting neat and fast. Everything she'd once cleaned with bleach, she now understood with science. That evening, she came home to find Elizabeth at a new desk. The scholarship had bought school supplies and a quiet place to study.
Mommy, I finished my math. Look, I drew a picture of Grandpa Samuel for the locket.
Mary knelt by the desk and hugged her daughter, the locket pressing softly between them.
I never imagined that $80 would buy a future. Not just the cake we didn't have, but this.
I am proud of you, Mommy. Grandpa Arthur says you are a hero, and I think so too.
Mary smiled, but the tears came anyway. The kind that wash away years of feeling invisible. The duplex looked the same, but everything inside had shifted. A future penned in the pages of a textbook. A family held together by a single thread of kindness. 2 years later, Mary walked the hospital corridor as a registered nurse, her scrubs a quiet blue. She passed the billing window and slowed, her reflection a ghost in the glass where she once slid her last $80. At the corridor's end, Arthur Brennan sat in his wheelchair, raising his hand in a familiar wave. She smiled and lifted her own hand, a greeting that held years of gratitude and belonging. Later, she paused at the founding wall, her fingertips finding the engraved name, Samuel Williams. The name gleamed under the light, as permanent as the kindness that had linked them all. She stepped back and looked from the wall to the humming lobby around her, filled with people she might one day care for. Outside, the hospital glowed in the golden evening sun, a place that had returned her history and given her a future. Sometimes the smallest acts open the biggest doors. A crumpled $80, a stranger's need, a heart that refused to walk away. Mary thought of the candles, the cake, the family she had found, and walked forward into the light.